Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? So I've now looked at 3 out of the 4 attachment styles. I've looked at avoidant attachment, anxious attachment, disorganized attachment, and now I'm going to look at the final one, which is called secure attachment. So this attachment style is probably less common than all of the others, and the reason for that is because to be a securely attached adult means you would have had to have a really stable and secure childhood. And the majority of people, even if, and I'm not saying that everyone's childhood was like full of trauma and abuse and witnessing domestic violence. Some of like the disruption in childhood could even be spending time in hospital away from your parents and feeling scared, or being in a car accident or anything like that. The majority of people have been through something. So the securely attached category is probably much smaller than the others, but it's still, it's out of all of them, this is where really we should all be aiming for, really, is to be a securely attached individual so that we can go into relationships with some of the some of the signs of a securely attached person is that they set healthy boundaries in their relationship. They feel safe in their relationship. They display unconditional love towards their partner. They're able to communicate their needs. They have a genuine interest in their partner, and they just have like open communication. There's more things, but these are some of the signs. So a securely attached person isn't coming into the relationship with this anxious feeling of, is this person going to leave me? They're not coming into a relationship with a thoughts of, if this person falls in love with me too early, then, oh, that's going to really be, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. They're not coming into a relationship with baggage and stuff. They've probably been through relationships that have ended, but they're secure enough in themselves and in their like thinking about relationships that nothing kind of rocks them or shakes them. I'd probably say in all the relationships I've had, maybe 2 people, I'd say at least 2 people I would class as being securely attached. And that's because of just how they're able to communicate, how they're able to provide safety within that relationship, how confident they are within themselves. They're not sort of saying, living in fear of, if you do this, if I do the wrong thing, then my partner's going to break up with me, or if you do this, then I'm scared that she's going to leave, or that sort of thing. They're just so secure within themselves that they're like, whatever comes my way, I'll handle it. So they've got this element of being able to set boundaries where if they're being mistreated in their relationship, a securely attached person will not be standing for it. They're not going to, the minute someone crosses that boundary, they're just going to be like saying quite clearly, you're not going to speak to me like that. The behaviour you're displaying is unacceptable. They're not going to use those words, but they're going to be saying that basically, because they know that if that relationship ends, it's not the end of the world. So like when some people who a relationship ends and then they spend like maybe the most of their life saying, I'm never going to find anyone like that, and that was, I don't know what I'm going to do now that this relationship's ended. A securely attached person, it's not saying they're not going to experience breakup and they're not going to be sad and that sort of thing, but if their main goal is to find a new partner, their focus and energy is going to go on that. They're going to be saying to themselves, okay, I need to take time to figure out what went wrong in that relationship, but then they're going to move on, and they're not going to move on with baggage. It just means that they are secure. It's not just about their secure attachment style in terms of relationships. They're a securely stable attached, they're a secure person. And again, that comes from childhood. If they've had like a childhood which has been fairly, not really many ups and downs. Maybe they haven't had like lots of bereavements. Maybe they haven't had lots of moving around, moving house. They've probably seen their parents operate really well together. So there's no divorce, no fighting. They've just come from a secure, stable environment where they could be themselves, where they're allowed to just express who they are. So if you've grown up with that and you are confident within who you are, then when you go into a relationship, there's no way you're going to be able to put up with someone putting you down, because you're going to think, wait a minute, you're not speaking to me like that. That's not how I've grown up, or it would be more shocking to a securely attached person to be treated like that. Whereas if you've come from a chaotic background where everyone in the family was battling with each other, where all you've been used to is name calling, where all you've ever experienced is like negativity, then when someone is negative towards you, it's normal. Putting that boundary in seems more difficult, because you're saying, well, you know, I've worked with people when I worked at a women's centre. It wasn't for domestic abuse, it was for people who were at risk of offending. I remember they were laughing at me because we were in a support group, and I said, they were talking about all these episodes of being like hit and this has happened and this person has done this to them. And I remember when I said to them, if a man calls me a name, you know, if he calls me the B word or he's calling me certain names, or at that point I said, then that's my boundary, that's my cut-off point. And they were laughing because they were saying, you'd leave a relationship because of name call. Names are nothing. They were going, names are nothing. I've been hit. Names are nothing. This has happened to me. Names are nothing. I've been cheated on. But their boundary was different from mine, because their experience was that if you don't get like beaten, then being called a name is no big deal. Being cheated on is no big deal, but that's because that's what they've been through. So it's not about judging someone. It's about saying to them, do you want to set a new boundary? You know, do you want your boundary to be, well, because you love yourself or you respect yourself, why should someone have the right to like call you names and sort of thing? So a secure person, a securely attached person, is always thinking of what they bring to the relationship. They're able to communicate their needs. They're able to have like genuine interest in their partner. They trust their partner. It's a healthy relationship. You just feel it. As I've said, I think it's probably, I can think of 2 good examples where I've been in a relationship with someone where, you know, you can just like breathe with that person. You just feel like you can say whatever you want to say. There's no fear. There's no barriers. It's just, that person is just, they've got you, that you know that person's got you. And I think that is what I'd describe a securely attached relationship as being. So I hope you found these videos useful. If you have, feel free to share them with others. Also feel free to leave your comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.